This video is to show how to create a tessellation using rotation around midpoints. So as you can see, when you look at these fish, you could see that some are going this way and some are going this way. So it's not quite the same as a translation. You can imagine that there's probably some rotation going along, and since they're going in the exact opposite direction, probably a half turn. If you look here, I have kind of put 4 points where this fish is touching 4 total fish. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you do that, you can see the shape that was made to make this. So let's see how it was made. So there's the puzzle piece. There's the quadrilateral. Notice that all 4 midpoints are marked. That's important. This time when you draw the squiggle, it's only going to be from the vertex to the midpoint only. Then we're going to rotate around the midpoint. So this is a half turn around the midpoint. Then we'll draw a squiggle from the vertex to the midpoint. Again, rotate around this midpoint. It won't be that complicated. We'll just turn our paper around. And then down here, another squiggle down here, only to the midpoint. Then we turn it and rotate it 180 degrees around the midpoint. And then again, the same thing here. There's your puzzle piece. This one was made by MC Escher. You can kind of tell because his shape is what's amazing. He didn't have to add very many details. The high school student from yesterday, his, I think, talent was the details that he added. So let's show you how you can make it. You need to start with a quadrilateral, just any old generic quadrilateral. You don't have to use a special one, so save those special ones for something else. And if you'll notice, I've marked all the midpoints perfectly. So whether you want to use a ruler or a compass, or I think the easiest thing is to download a picture from GeoGebra. So I'll talk about that later. So take your paper, and again, I'm using patty paper so that you can see through. Remember, this is your working copy. And then remember, the thing that you trace on is your puzzle piece. So I'm going to put it on here, and I'm going to try to do this with just one hand. Obviously, if you have 2 hands, you can be a little bit more accurate. Okay, and then I'm going to move that aside, and when I draw the squiggle, I'm only going to go from the vertex to the midpoint only. And then when I go ahead and put this on here, if you want to mark the midpoint, you can, but you don't have to. Draw in your squiggle, just like that. And then what you're going to do is, see if I can do this with one hand, you're going to stab the center, the midpoint with your pencil, and then you're just going to rotate your paper 180 degrees until it lines up, okay? And then you can see that there is the second part of this that you can go ahead and trace. Okay, this would be much easier with 2 hands. Okay, then move this away, okay? And we'll put another squiggle there, again, vertex to midpoint only. And then we have to kind of line this up so that it all matches. And we'll go ahead and trace this squiggle. If anything overlaps, you may have to go and adjust your squiggle. Okay. And then I'm going to stab the midpoint, and I'm going to rotate my paper. Oh, let's try again. If I had 3 hands, it would be easier. Okay, so we stab the midpoint, and then we turn it 180 degrees until it matches perfectly. If it's not matching perfectly, that means that you didn't find the exact midpoint. Okay. And then if we go ahead and trace it, you get that. And then, oh, who knows, we could do one more like this. And again, you have to line it up. And I'm sorry my video is so crazy. So we'll trace it like this. Again, stab your midpoint, rotate it 180 degrees, and then go ahead and trace it again. And hopefully I have enough time here to fit in the last one. Make sure when you do squiggles, you're not allowed to do squiggles that loop like this, because then there would be no room for it to go in there. Plus, if you get a squiggle that kind of overlaps another squiggle, that's not good, so you're going to need to redo that. Who knows what we're going to do here? We'll just make a boring one. So sometimes, you know, it's important to do crazy squiggles. Sometimes it's important to do just boring ones. Practice so that you could see if you can get an attractive looking thing. Again, hold the midpoint, rotate your paper completely around till it lines up, and then trace it again. So your working copy will just have 4 squiggles from vertex to midpoint on each side. And then this is your actual puzzle piece. I don't know what it looks like, but I kind of think like you could make a mouth here and then the nose. This looks almost like a Dr. Seuss thing. So see what you can do, play around with it.